Okay, with using a spreadsheet function, step one is we're going to click the spreadsheet button from the home menu. Now that is actually, it is actually going to be a green image at the bottom of the calculator screen. Let me show you what that looks like. So if I go down here to the bottom and I go over to the right, notice it does say the word spreadsheet down here at the bottom. If you go down, see that where it says spreadsheet right there? And it's also green. So we want to click that. Step 2 says change the first column to X. So let's go ahead and do that. To change the first column, which is this one right here, you go all the way up to the A, and then once you get the box around A, you're going to just type in an X, and it changes it to an X. And then click down to get out of it. Now we're going to do step 3. Step 3 says enter all the numbers into the first column you labeled X and click outside your last entry. So these are the numbers we're going to be using. These three these four, square root of 35, negative 0.25, negative pi, and 7 over 8. So let's enter all four of these numbers. Each one is going to go in its own box in that column. Alright, so that first one is going to be square root of 35. Then we're going to do negative 0.25, and we're going to go ahead and say negative pi, and then we're going to put 7 over 8. So I'm going to hit Control Divide to do my fraction bar and put 7 over 8. Now here's the important thing. You must click down to get out of that value, to get out of that box. If you don't, then it's going to mess you up on the next step. So be sure that you click down and you exit that data. So in other words, whenever you click down, you should see a blank box where you're not going to put anything in it. You're going to stop there. Alright, our next step on step 4 says click the home button and then click the data button. So let me show you what those look like. Home is that little house up at the top right. I'm going to click it and it takes me back where I started. If I right click on the cursor button one time, it's going to pull up this one that's kind of purple and it says add data in statistics. Okay, this is what I call the data button. So now that you've gotten there, you're going to hit enter. Now notice the next step says change the bottom axis to X and scroll over each number to see the order. So let's do that. Alright, in order to do that, move your thumb around until your pointer pops up. When your mouse pointer pops up, you're going to go down to the bottom where it says click to add variable, hit OK, click on X, and now it has put these in order from least to greatest. Now one thing I would like to say is this calculator will always put them from least to greatest. Notice you can see my number line similar to the one that I drew, right? The further you go left, the further it's negative. The further you go right, the greater the positive value. Now if I want to be able to look and see what the order of the numbers are, all I got to do is just move my cursor on top of that point and it tells me what the least value is. And in this case it says it's negative pi. So when we write down our number for number 1, we're going to write down negative pi. So I'm going to write down negative pi is our first value. And I'm just going to move my cursor over to the right to find the next one in line. So my least value in this case, my next least value is going to be negative 0.25. So let's write that one down. So negative 0.25. If I move it to the next one, it is 7 over 8. And then my last one, the greatest value, will be square root of 35. So we'll write 7 over 8. And then we'll put the square root of 35. And so now we've ordered these from least to greatest using our calculator.